So let's just close one button here because it's getting a little crazy.
Should we?
Should we? Maybe if we get more views. I mean, anything, anything for
Stick
more
a toe out
views,
too.
right?
Welcome to class.
Welcome back to Confessions
Welcome
of a
back,
Desi Drama
bitches.
Queen with our fall mascot Theo. You guys look at his outfit. I don't want to pick him up because
He has a hoodie.
I thought he like growled or like something purred, but it was my phone. So sorry. So unprofessional of me.
But he has a little hoodie.
He
This
has
is
a
actually a
little
gift from
hoodie.
our friend, but my friend Bubbly. She got him and I matching outfits and matching black corduroy hats. Literally the exact same. So fucking cute.
So cute. And I was telling Senna earlier when she was putting it on him, I'm like, dude, you guys did a good job with Theo because he just is like paw out, like doesn't give a shit.
As I'm
He's
like,
like, dress me.
as I'm like walking to be like, oh, I'm gonna put an outfit on Theo, and then I'm like, this one or this one. I'm like, maybe we should have kids. Like, maybe it's time. She's like,
Yeah.
there, all the signs are there.
All the signs are there. We're just avoiding it. We can't stop
We
talking
can't
about
stop
it.
talking about it.
It's like no one has a gun to our head that's like, you guys have to talk about babies
My
on the
mom,
podcast.
you guys, we went to go see my mom last week. My mom's like, so listen. She's like talking to me about what I said on the podcast. I'm like, Mom.
No, but she keeps saying, she's like, it's not about what you said on the podcast. And we're like,
But she goes,
because
it's
the
not about what you said on the
language-
podcast, but I will just never ask you. I'm never gonna ask you again if you have
Yeah.
kids. And I'm like, Mom, like do you guys understand the way that we talk on here and to be like, Mom, stop listening.
Yeah,
but she's sweet because she's like, but I have never stopped you from saying anything. And I'm like, you are so right. You are
That's my
so
litmus
right.
test, or like that's the standard that I'm at, where I'm like even if Abdus, I mean, he hasn't yet, but like, but he hasn't
Let me be a
yet.
lesson.
I know, I'm
because
scared.
this will be the one.
I didn't even tell him the story that like, yeah, and then Muzi listened to it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not
don't
even give you the
honestly.
idea.
Yeah, because
you know, it used to really make me not upset, but like when I first did that like a little guest star episode with you in the beginning.
yeah, I was looking back at that the other day, by the way. Guys, if you're new or have joined like recently, way back, I had started this podcast alone and I was like, Amna, will you be my guest star? And we were like at her kitchen table and there's videos of it like on the
Yeah.
Instagram page.
And it
And
was
yeah.
so like, yeah. So when we did that one, we like, that's the one where we're talking about me fiending to find Drake's dick, right? And then
it was like the AI video. Do you guys remember? Well,
I mean,
so
it could have been
he says.
AI. It could
So
have
he
happened. We
says.
don't know. But when that whole thing happened and everyone's trying to find it and everyone's like,
Yeah.
is that really, is it his? He's obviously
Well,
not
everybody
saying
found
anything.
it, but
Everyone found
everybody's
it.
sharing it.
You're right. So like, I'm out here like, might as well be in the
And we're
dark
fully
web.
talking about it. We're
Yeah, I'm
talking
fully
about
like,
it.
yeah, and then I don't know, because what I was expecting was like giving a whole drawn out description. We might as well have had like a whiteboard in between us and drawn it. But I afterwards started like spiraling because it was my first time like talking to the camera, and I was like, oh my God.
And I'm a disassociation queen. So I'm gonna be like, Sana, but like, what did we say? Did it sound good, bad? I'm like, I don't know.
It sounds like, how do I never listen to it? Which now I don't really go back and listen once we're done editing. But at the time, I was like, oh my God. Like, and then when I said it to him, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, as if I was cheating. I was like, I don't know. I talked about Drake's dick. I didn't say it like I was cheating. I said it and I tossed it out there to be like, what's going to happen?
But the problem is you do it with that face.
I know.
You'll be like, I said Drake's dick.
I know. I know. Or it's like way too stoic. I'm like, I saw it. What are you gonna do about it? So, but I say all that to say is that to me, once Hala is like, yeah, so I'm like, if my own Hala is not upset, then who are you? Hala's gonna listen to this and be like, shut the fuck up.
No.
Stop bringing me up in the fights with your husband. But I do. I'm like, Hala said there's nothing wrong with it. Also, he's never once fought me. These are all like the play scenarios that
like,
I have just in case.
Who hasn't?
Just in
Gone
case.
are the days where we used to sit and daydream about like our future wedding, and we've already done all that.
Been there, done
Now
that.
we're just running through scenarios. I said to Muzi the other day, and I thought this was really like poetic and profound of me. I really did. I was like, I used to be a really big daydreamer when I was a kid, but I thought all kids were daydreamers. I thought that's just what kids did, that you like sat and like dreamed about whatever the fuck it was to you. But I would be like, I'm watching the Academy Awards and I'm like, one day
you're practicing your speech.
You're watching Step Up and you're like, Jenna Dewan.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like you think you could be anybody and everybody and you're daydreaming all
Ah,
these scenarios and all these, and then I could end up here. And what if I did this? What if I lived that life? And then what if I become this? Or what if I
yes.
look like that? Like, you have you literally your whole life, and then you meet a boy, and then you're playing out all the scenarios of like, and then we'll go to Six Flags together and we'll be in line and
Six
he'll get me a
Flags.
teddy bear. He'll
Uh,
win me something. And then we'll, like you play out all those scenarios then. And then you fall in love with the boy and then you play out all your wedding scenarios. And then I said to him that maybe being an adult is when all your daydreaming turns into your anxiety.
oh, whoa, damn.
Because now I run through scenarios still, as we've, well and
Yeah.
learned and discussed. I run through scenarios in my head all day, but it's no longer daydreaming. It's no longer the fun and joy of like, what that my hopes and dreams. It's like, and what if that happens? And what if this happens? And do you know what I mean?
I do get what you're saying. I think because same, I used to daydream all the time. My favorite is when I would like you're listening to music in the car and you're daydreaming choreography. I'm like, I would do that all the time. I'd be like, and then we're gonna jump off a
Mm.
building, and then we're gonna do a flip in the air, and we're gonna land, and we're gonna do
Oh, you
like
would produce the
I'm making a music
movie.
video in my mind as I'm listening to the music, which I still do sometimes on like a really good playlist drive. Um,
Wait, can
and
I tell you something? That's so fascinating to me because I would do that with like music on the drive. This is so telling of who we are because
okay,
I would do
I'm
that
like,
with
tell me.
music on a drive, but I would be sitting and it'd be like tears run and I'm wondering why. They like a sad song and
Yeah.
I'm like sitting and in my head I'm the main character in the movie. I'm like, and then what's gonna happen to me? Like
Oh, where am I gonna
the next
go?
move. Like I literally, I'm like, this is me in the movie.
Oh, I would produce like a music video for
Yeah.
the whole thing. I'd be like, and then we transition here, and then one teardrop. Did you guys ever? Oh my God. Because I also didn't know that this was like a problem, like
What?
something that like I should go to therapy for because I thought of it
Okay.
as something fun. Is maladaptive daydreaming? I didn't know that was something
Wait,
that other
wait.
people did.
I don't know anything about mallet,
Maladapt
but you with the
malad
glasses, with Theo, with the fall.
maladaptive daydreaming is basically like you I guess people do it in different ways, but like the what I've seen on TikTok that I do is like I'll just disassociate and I'm fully daydreaming, but I'm like pacing around my house.
Yeah.
And like I'm like thinking up scenarios in my house. Like I'll be listening to music and let's say I'm cleaning, but now like I'm too lost in the storyline that's in my mind. So now it's like I'm not physically playing it out all the time, but like I am kind of like and I've been doing it since I was a kid because so many times Mustafa has caught me and he'll be like, "What are you mumbling to?" And I'm like, "What?" and then I have to like snap out of it and I'm like, "Nothing. I wasn't talking like
Wait.
I wasn't."
Okay.
So I'll like really do I don't do it as much, but I really do it and here and there like I'll get lost in the sauce and I didn't know that that's like I thought we all did that like daydreaming, like you just do it for funsies.
But it's like I don't think I do that.
It's like a thing. Oh,
Like, I get lost in the sauce, but, like, I don't think I do it like, I'll pace too. Literally, all I do is pace, but it's not because I'm lost in a storyline.
oh, like sometimes it's like, when you're pacing, because pacing helps me think, and I have to like
Yeah.
pace and talk out loud,
Yeah.
and then I feel like I'm getting answers. So it's kind of like that, where I'll just like get into a rhythm and I'll just start
Yeah.
pacing, and like I might still do something,
You're,
but
like, deep in a trance, deep in a trance.
literally. And I remember when I first got married, I don't know why I had this paranoia that like randomly this is webcam or something will be on or like someone's gonna catch me like mid-act and I was so scared because I'm like all this man is gonna see is like a normal day going and then me just fucking going in like a little like circle pacing in like a little rectangle and he's gonna be like what the fuck is going on with her like meanwhile I'm like 4 chapters and sequels
Like, what
happened.
is it now that you're thinking about that
It
are
depends. It is really helpful when I work out. So when I'm on the treadmill, I'll
Mm.
be listening to like if I'm listening to like fun upbeat music, I'm still thinking of like a music video that I've created.
Mhm.
If it's like which my personal go-to is like intense music and intense we both started doing this recently where
Yeah.
like intense used to be like either it's like hard rock or it's like hard rap or it's
Yeah,
like
like,
some
Numb,
upbeat
Encore.
yeah, it's something crazy, right? Which sometimes still hits, but like
Mhm.
sometimes it'll be like the soundtrack to like I love the
Mhm.
soundtrack to Batman. Soundtrack or it's like an orchestra and you're
Yes.
like so in it. So I lately, it's like the one that I've been listening to is like Run Boy Run, and you've definitely heard it.
Okay.
And I'll come up with, I have this like ongoing story. It's like a movie. I have this ongoing, I feel very vulnerable right now. I have this
Wait, I don't know
movie
this about you.
about a superhero,
Okay.
but she's Desi. And
Okay.
like this is like the whole, it's like a music video slash superhero movie that I've come up with. Oh my God, if anybody wants to like produce it, let me know. But
You're literally blushing.
I
Like,
know I'm
I'm so
scared. I'm like,
excited.
wow, I'm like telling you guys my deepest, darkest, not darkest, but like, you know what I mean? It's like a stupid
Not
little,
darkest, but
but I have this like
yeah, that is
ongoing like
vulnerable.
storyline where like it's this girl, like it starts at a wedding. You're at a
Okay.
wedding, and it's
Okay.
kind of like the beginning of Queen, where like you see me putting Mandy and like blah 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 blah, and then you see these like sisters, and they're like putting jewelry on each other, and then one sister wants to borrow the other sister's jewelry, and then they're like fighting about who gets to wear what jewelry. That's important to the story, and then
I wonder who inspired that story.
no, it's important. So then, like, the wedding's happening, the bride is going in, it's like the bride's sisters, and then it's like some like Iron Man shit, like they're under attack, they don't know what's going on, everyone's running, but it's super cinematic because the running's in slow motion. You're only seeing the files and like the lengas like do little like motions. It's a whole production in my head, and like no one knows what's going on, and they kidnap the bride, and then they like take her in this plane, and she's like being blown away, and like obviously everyone's freaking out, and then it keeps cutting back between like the running of the file and then the running of the people and then the chaos, and then it goes back to file, and it's like someone running, but then it shows her Julia, and she does like a little snap, and her Julia get hard, and then you see it snap again, and just like going with the beat of the music, and then it snaps again, and you'll see from the bio up, it's like Iron Man, like her whole outfit changes, and then she's jumping to the plane to get it. Meanwhile, inside the plane, they're like,
Meanwhile,
keep that in mind. Second scene, inside the plane, it's like Batman, where like the villain is trying to get something out of the bride, and she's like trying to fight him back. So she's trying to punch him, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Blah blah blah. But when the Julia initially went hard, you're assuming it's the bride. You're like, oh shit, the bride's a fucking superhero. But then you see the bio, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then you see that it's like the sister punch, like the sister basically goes in, it's like a whole fight scene, but you're supposed to think it's the bride, but the earlier the girls who were fighting over who wears the Julia, it's like these like very special Julia that are like superpower Julia, right? So it's like a whole not superhuman, like super
wait,
girl storyline in my
Amna?
head. And while I'm listening to the music and I'm running, I'll be like fully like, I'll have like different endings, I'll have like different like whatever. And then sometimes it's not that deep. And sometimes I'll like just like imagine myself like running through a forest, or like, like I'm like on a mission somewhere. But yeah, that's where my brain goes.
Wait, that is a phenomenal. You would win a VMA.
Thank you
That
so much.
is so good. I'm locked in. And like,
Thanks.
meanwhile, what's happening?
Yeah,
The
like
lux into the beginning, the sentiment of it all, the superhero, the win, your root, like the twists and the turns.
yeah, and the soundtrack is like give it a Bollywood twist.
Oh
There's a
my
musical in it,
God.
obviously.
I'm just like, how did we get you to project management? Like, how? What you have to offer is that's
Thanks.
insane.
Thank you so much.
You have
Maybe
to make
one
that.
day in life I'm gonna,
Or write the story.
dude, something I've always wanted to learn is how to like make cartoons.
That's a comic.
Right? Like a comic.
Yeah.
I
Or
just
like
feel
a
that's
kid's book or
fun.
something. Like, wait, guys, if that was like, imagine like a series and you're like middle school-ish
Oh my
age and you're
God.
reading that as a series, and then the soundtrack comes out, and then obviously she gets the fucking movie rights or show rights or whatever. Like, obviously we got to think big.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like,
Obviously, I'm like, Blake Lively is not gonna be on the roster. We're not doing that. The book rights cannot be sold like that. Like, I've already thought out the list of who's gonna get what email from whom. Thank you so much.
yeah, that's
I
amazing.
hope you guys feel the same way. Also, if any one of you fucking steals it,
Oh,
I'm actually
do
coming
not
for you.
play copyright.
Yeah, copywriting this shit immediately. But yeah, so that's like what I go. What do you think? What do you think about when you're on the treadmill? No, but you have to be thinking about something.
Yeah, I distract myself a lot. I go down, I fixate, or like, okay, like, it's like always has to be something different for me.
Okay.
But like, for example, when I went to the gym yesterday, it was like a Missy Elliott. Like, I was on a Missy Elliott
Okay.
train, so I'm listening to, like, Lose Control, and half of my cardio, I have to feel like I'm, like, dancing the rhythm of the music,
Mhm.
you know? So I'm like,
Mhm.
rock with the beat, fire, like, I really have to be in it with the music, and then I will fixate on, "Oh my god, this is so boring of me. Can't
No.
I can't go after that and say what I'm
No,
about to say."
say it. It's okay.
I'm going through, like, my list for the day. I'm like, "And then I have to this, and then I have to that, and
Okay.
yesterday I didn't this, and tomorrow I have to that, and don't forget to blah, blah." Like, I'm literally just going through my list for the day, things I have to say in email, things I wish I had said to someone that really fucking annoyed me, rethinking
Mm.
a scenario, like,
Okay.
daydreaming about what my body will look like if I just keep fucking going, thinking about a celebrity, like, "Oh, I wonder if they actually did blah, 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 blah." Thinking about like Leah Kateb or someone, and I'm like, I wonder how they made it to like, or like, yeah, like I'm in like all tabs open. Should I buy the outfit? Should I not? Should I wear that one to Arizona or to New York? If I wear it to New York, like I'm literally just revolving around that myself.
But I do that too. One, that's like that's what I'm saying. I didn't realize maladaptive daydreaming is like something that I should go to therapy for because it's so
Don't go to
fun.
therapy.
I
That's
don't
so
want
much
to.
fun.
It's like really fun for me.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it because I do that when I'm doing like if I'm walking, I'll do that. I have to be running in order to or biking to be like in that so locked
Mm,
into something, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that. It can't be a slow pace, which is why I guess I'm like pacing around my house. But I do that if I'm on a slow walk or it's been a busy day or like if I'm like doing a machine because I
Yeah.
have to think of something and I
Yeah.
can't. I have to keep a pace with it.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
ADHD, guys?
Maybe.
Like, I feel like I actually remember when I had gone to a therapist for like a few months, like 2 years ago. And it's like now part of my personality. I really need to get back in therapy. But I remember my therapist had asked me, like, okay, so like I was like struggling with a childhood something. And she was like, okay, so have you thought about like just like asking if I've like allowed myself to sit and think about anything? And I was like, not really. And then I would, like, force myself to do it. I would, like, force myself to sit and, like, I feel like when I sit and allow myself to wander, please tell me if this happens to anyone else, I start wandering into, like, trauma territory.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
too much time wandering for me unless it's in a shower or I'm, like, sitting outside, like, with good like, orchestra type
Yeah.
music playing. Can I really get in the zone of, like, "Wow, I'm really proud," like, just, like, other things and reflection in a more positive way.
Yeah.
But if I'm just sitting and I let my brain go for too long, I will end up in, like, some kind of trauma and then have to circle and suck my way out of it and then have
Mm.
to be like, "Okay, t just we gotta keep it pushing."
Yeah, I get that. That's happened to me before. Sometimes if it's, like, nostalgic for me, but sometimes
Yeah, sometimes that's true.
it's, like, nostalgic
Sometimes it is
sad, you know what I mean?
nostalgia sad.
But sometimes it's, like, it could just be my playlist that takes me there.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, a
I'm having a
playlist will
good day,
always
but,
take
like,
me there.
the playlist sends you into, like, a moment where you are silent with yourself a little bit.
Mhm.
So that has happened to me in that scenario, but I think it's a different ball game for you to have to like not force yourself, but like obviously if your therapist is telling you to like sit, like your homework to like sit and be like, okay, we're gonna go there willingly. Cause I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, we end up there accidentally.
Yeah, and then we try to, like,
And then
get
we have
out
to
of it.
backtrack and
Yeah.
then we like wipe a tear and now we're in Walmart and we're like,
Yeah,
okay,
and now
whatever
we're
for the
like, "All right,
day.
well,
Yeah, I got
find
it.
some dark joke," and then we're over it. It's the
Yeah.
way we process, but yeah, I don't really do that. But how did the fuck did we get here?
This feels like a really good segue to the answers we got for our questions.
Yeah. Okay, so
Because speaking of,
trauma,
because we
but
all
this was
have
more
trauma.
lighthearted and hilarious.
To most,
Oh.
yes.
Oh, I didn't read them all.
But I'm thinking like if you're not a person of color, which hi, hello, welcome. Um I don't know how you found us here, but so glad. I feel like then it can be a little like, "Ooh, wait a minute, cuz this is not coming out the way I thought it would be coming out." You know, like when we're like, "Yeah, my parents beat my ass." And they're like, "My mother would never Karen would never do that." You're like, "Oh, okay." Which I also learned not learned, but like when we were in studio last week because obviously we're back home now, guys. back home.
We're doing a back and forth
We're doing a
thing.
back and forth thing. Some episodes will be cozy, comfy like this with Theo, and some will be a full-on production.
Yeah.
And we love both.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have both. But when we I realized how long it's been since we've had a producer behind the camera.
Mhm.
And then when we did start talking, I was like, you know, like I'm saying a lot of things. Saying a lot of things. Talking about white people
The
a
last week
lot.
was like, I hate when people fucking let their dogs kiss them on
Yeah,
the mouth. And
yeah,
we're like,
that's what it was.
yeah, and we're like, what if he kisses his dog?
What if he kisses his dog on the mouth? And then I was like, is that racist for me to assume he might?
How that
But he might. He might. And I started backtracking and I was like, I normally would say that with my whole ass out. Like, yeah, I think it's disgusting if you make out with your dog. That's actually disgusting. The dog is probably disgusted. You know, that's icky. But when I started saying it, I was like, yeah, but I mean, to each their own. And everyone has different
and
dogs and different breeds. And I was like, wait, I'm scared. Yes, Theo, you're a good boy because you never do that. But okay.
Wait, I just wanted to say that as also Desi kids, I think it's really funny what trauma, like there are things that have happened in my childhood that I like cannot let go of that are so traumatic to me. And then there are things that I'm like, haha, my mom did beat me with a fucking vacuum cord.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's
like,
so
isn't it crazy
funny.
how some things are so just like, oh, please, like, yeah, like, all right, that happened. And then
Yeah.
some things you're like,
why me? Yeah. And then you try to talk to your parents about it, and then it's like, this is the worst decision I've ever made in my life.
And my poor mom's like, you could, like, you can say whatever you want. And I'm like, and she beat me with a stick.
Oh no, but Hala is one of the very few
She really
women,
is.
aunties, moms that I know that's like, I heard what you guys had to say. I hear you. I don't agree, but I hear you. I was telling Sana when we were talking to Hala about all this too, where I was like, my mother would have actually
I said the
ripped me a
same
new
thing. I was
one.
like, my Kala?
My mom, if I said the shit that I say, I mean, I would say it. And I think here's what my mom would do. In public, she'd defend the fuck out of me. In the
100%.
comments, she'd be a menace.
She would be like, are you
to a fault, to where
the
I'd be like,
dignity that you guys are swearing to this degree?
Yeah.
What have we taught you? Our families in Pakistan, but then she's gonna be the one like showing it to everyone.
Yeah.
Sending
And then
the
in
link.
the comments, she's gonna be the reason we're canceled. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, Mom, stop saying that. You cannot say that. It'll be full voice recordings in the comments. You know what I mean? It's not even like so. And then she'd get mad at us being casual. She'd be like, that you're not dressed
right,
head to toe, makeup full beat like in a lenga. Like, no, you guys.
But my mom's like really sweet and always like,
so, like
willing to be
I
like, okay, girls,
understand.
I hear you. Like, ugh.
I know.
So, anyways, but this is what happened when we were kids.
Yeah. So, anyways, here's a trauma that you guys submitted.
And oh, by the way, for those of you that didn't see, the prompt was, what's the craziest way your parents punished you as a kid? And okay, this one is she said, went to Pakistan for the summer, and my dad said, I can't come back to the US unless I get married to who he wants me to marry. I ended up living with my friend and her family. I was 18 and didn't speak to him for a year.
I mean, valid.
Yeah, valid for her. Her dad
but
said,
I was getting scared. I thought she did end up getting married because I feel like that's like a horror story that we hear all the time. That like, oh, I thought I was going to Pakistan to just like visit somebody, and then
also,
I had no
this
choice.
Is not normal. And for kids that are growing up after us, like, can you imagine explaining to them, like, yeah, I was sent to a different country
at 16.
At 16, and my parents said if I don't get married, then I can't come back.
Like
to finish high school.
We all knew at least one girl in that scenario.
100%.
At least
one.
At least
I can count on my hands probably, but at least one.
Yeah, and the whole time you're like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Are they gonna get married?
I remember getting a phone call once of a friend who like had gone to Pakistan, and I got a phone call and it was like, hey, by the way, like I am now getting married. And I was like, that's crazy.
And it's crazy because brown boys do that shit by choice.
Uh-huh.
They'll date around.
They're like,
and they're like, we're going to Pakistan. We're getting married tomorrow. Who is she?
Who's ready?
And for girls, that's like an actual threat where they're like, we're going to take you to Pakistan. And we're like, ugh! Like,
yeah. When I was at 14, sending my parents putting my parents through like hell. They literally were like, do we send her there? And I was like, please,
You're like, I'm gonna go there and become the
please.
mayor.
Yeah, like,
Please.
please.
You're like,
Send
I'm gonna find the
me.
cutest boy. I'm gonna have a whole lineup
No,
if I
I
get there.
literally was like, let's try.
Let's do our best. That is so funny that was always such a threat. I'm gonna send you
Yeah.
to Pakistan.
But that's such a crazy story.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, let me go. Took my room door off the hinges because I kept locking it. Classic. Honestly, I fear I might do the same.
No, I think I would too. Also, I grew up never having a lock on my door.
Yeah, you did.
And I grew up never, my dad was very controlling about specific things, a lot of things, but like we were never allowed to have locks on our door, and every night I could never sleep with my door closed.
Yeah, you couldn't have your door unless you were
Unless I was
changing.
changing, my
Your
room
door was
door
not allowed to
always
be
had to
closed.
be a little bit ajar. Always. If
Always.
I would try and like close my room door to be like, I'm really gonna.
Yeah.
Then you wonder, and then you wonder,
Yeah.
and then you wonder. But like, and yeah, I couldn't have any door closed.
Yeah. And I always had door closed. So I would always close her door. And then like 3 times a day, her dad would be like, Sana, why did you leave the door closed? And
Imagine.
I didn't know that it was like a rule. Like she said it to me, but I took it very lightly. So because I did it, so I took it very lightly. And I would be like, no, I closed it. And he'd be like, oh, were you guys changing? I'd be like, no, just chit chat.
And then he would come tell me.
He'd be like, Sana, you cannot close your door. And I'd be like, understood. Anyways, can you shut the door on your way out? But like, I kept doing it. I remember I kept doing it.
Or imagine every day being like, Amna, can you close the door a little more? Just like, no, a little.
Oh, she would be
yeah.
like, oh my God, I'm getting too crazy. She would like be like, just like you could put like maybe a credit card through. And now we have to like tell a secret to each other. So we're talking like, whispering to each other, and then we're like, anywho, and the weather today is great. And then he said that.
Oh my God, I remember one time I knew that my dad was going to be listening to everything that I was saying, like, because he just was. So I wrote it in a letter, and I sent you to the bathroom. I did that to like 5 of my friends. I literally was like,
go to the bathroom, read it.
And isn't that so insane?
Yeah, and I don't even, I hope what you wrote was that serious, but in my mind,
dude, it was like, and then they told me I have to break up with him, and then they said they're gonna send me to Pakistan.
I'm sitting on the toilet reading it, like, oh my God.
And then they beat my ass. And then they beat my ass. Anyways, next one.
Next one. Next, okay, took my phone away for, this one's crazy, a year. But what I love about this submission is they put so I'm like, so does that mean you had a burner phone? Like, why are you saying it like that? But
or like, what'd you do?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. I never got my phone taken away, but my mom, she would, how like you weren't allowed to have your door closed. My phone should be signaling throughout the whole house. My mom would do random, like prison, like random checks of my phone.
No, and she would do it all the time.
And she would make me sit next to her as she's scrolling
through messages.
Everything. So I became a professional. And Sana would be sweating in a corner, like, oh my God, Amna. And I'd be like,
oh my
calm,
God,
stay calm,
I'm
stay
thinking
calm.
about myself. I'm like, Amna, the stakes are high all around. I can't text you like the crazy shit that I'm texting you. But also, we had gone to hookah.
Yeah, and we had like a whole photo shoot with like blowing each other's mouths and shit, which I'd done twice. And one time I did get caught, and it was a huge deal in the family. It was a huge deal. And I'm like 15. Like, I'm not supposed to be at this hookah bar, but like obviously they didn't give a shit. And I'm like, yeah, 15 or 16. And me and my cousin, there's no smoke coming out. It's all like just us looking like we're gonna make out, like lips open, staring at each other. So, and then I posted it to Facebook.
Yeah, of course.
And then my whole family, the next day, my dad called me into his job and then made me go into his office. It was very serious. But this is a one time where I really stood my ground. I was like, you're not saying that to the boys. And my dad's like, you all look stupid. And I'm like, I don't care. Go tell the boys that. And I delete it? Obviously, I deleted it. But I still like kept fighting the fight of like, well, you're not telling the boys to delete it. And now I'm like, dude, I'm 15.
What am I fighting
What
for?
am I fighting? Blowing no smoke out my mouth.
Literally.
With my like 10-year-old cousins. Like, what am I doing? Obviously, that's a little
also,
embarrassing.
yeah, I would bitch my kid out too. Are you insane? I remember a friend's sister in high school. She had would cut open her bill, like her cell phone bill.
Okay.
And then get it changed so that it wouldn't show the numbers that like, because like obviously if we all grew up in the same era, you know, it's like line by line that shit. Every phone number you've ever called, for how long, who called who,
Mm-hmm.
like all the details. So everybody's parents were like
Checking
deep in the,
patterns of
yeah, of
numbers.
course, calling to check who it is. I will say, if I had access to that much of my kids' information, I'd also be like, who the fuck are you calling for 2 hours every day?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So she would like get the numbers taken out, reprint the bill, and then put it back in ever so carefully and like close it back up. That is genius.
I did that
Next
one
level.
time for like a transcript,
Uh-huh.
but you know what I just realized also while you said that is like I feel like with today's parents generation, kids grow up already understanding that parents monitor social media and phones and this and that. Cell phones were like a completely new thing
Yeah,
by the time it came to
everything.
us. So
Yeah.
our like we think we're beating a system. Now our parents are catching on to the system and we're like, fuck, who told
It's also
them?
the timing of things because it would show you who you're calling at what time. So it's like if your daughter is on the phone on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, school nights from like midnight to 2 a.m., what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that like for like our kids are always gonna know that we're always gonna
Yeah.
know.
So which is why they don't be acting up
They
as
don't care.
much.
Like it doesn't even bother them like that. I'm sure some do, but like it doesn't really bother them that their parents are monitoring them because they have always been monitored.
Yeah.
We were like freaking animal children, like
But they,
out doing whatever, riding our bikes, no cell phone. Parents don't know what time we're coming home. Like they didn't know that. Then cell phones came into our lives. Everyone's picking a razor versus a sidekick. It really like differentiated who you're gonna become as a person, as an adult, depending on what you picked.
yes. And
You
everything
know?
you're right, everything came out while the experimenting of the entire internet came out
Was
at
with
every
us.
stage of life with us. That was like a dangerous stage because it's like then photo, and it's like, what photos are kids sending? What the
Yeah.
fuck are you guys
And
sending?
Facebook,
What are you
like
sending?
Facebook wasn't a concept. Or it just became a concept. MySpace became a concept. Like back then when the internet first started, you only used it to like maybe Google something. It really put shit into perspective for me when I found out that JLo is the reason why we have Google Images.
Yeah, isn't that
And
crazy?
I'm like, whoa, what were we doing before
Yeah.
that?
It's insane, and it was our lifetime, obviously. Or
Yeah.
like, yeah, like having access to the internet, or when the Facebook app was an app, but like you could only use it over Wi-Fi. So then you would sit
Yep.
anywhere with Wi-Fi.
And when every one of us that's listening, because I'm assuming we're all girls here, but if we're not, hi. And what are you doing here? But I feel like every girl of her family was always the one using the most minutes, using the most text messages. The bill has gone over every month because we keep using more minutes. And I'm fighting for my life for them. I'm like, I need the extra minutes. I need the extra text messages. I have to. And I would get mad at my parents. I'm like, who are you calling? Who are you texting?
You're busy, you have kids. Dude,
Yeah.
I used to get so irritated because my parents made it impossible for me to like it would be like the minimum amount of minutes, and then T-Mobile had a top 5, but my top 5 had to be approved by them. And then I
Mm.
would try to do the thing where I would try to put a boy under a girl's name. They caught that on very quickly. And then they also would not allow me to talk on the phone after 9 p.m. and 9 p.m. is when everything was free after, like
Yeah.
you were unlimited minutes after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're cutting every lane of access.
Yeah.
What am I to do?
That's the stuff my parents are pretty lenient about. Like as open as your family was on one end,
Oh
on the
yeah.
opposite end, now my parents, they're like, they would care, but I'd be like, I'm talking to my friend Ikra, and they'd be like, okay, like sometimes they'd be like, okay, sometimes they'd be like, put Ikra on the phone. I'm not an amateur. You think I'm an amateur? I would tell whoever I'm talking to. Normally, it really was just Ikra, but like if it ever was like a
Yeah.
boy in a situation, I would be like prepared. Like I'd be like, you need to find a sister, a friend, somebody. But here's the thing, I wasn't talking to any boys at that age. So when I say boys, I mean like he's asking for like, it's like an actual guy friend. He's like
Yeah.
asking me for homework advice.
Yeah,
I'm
you're like
make sure.
actually not doing anything
Yeah,
wrong.
I'm like, don't like we can keep the chit chat to a 10 seconds, like 7-second update, but like my parents need to hear me speaking science terms when they walk by my door if they know I'm on the phone with a boy. Because I got my first cell phone at sophomore year of high school.
I'm laughing because I'm like, I was like talking to boys, had boyfriends, like doing crazy shit. And I am like, I'm not even allowed to lock the door. So I'm just like
Yeah.
in the room, like really hoping nobody just like swings the door open
Yeah, you were really playing
with
life on the
fire.
edge. And I
Yeah.
had all the opportunities to, but
And you were like,
no roster. I was like,
no.
listen, the Chem 2 answer is blah blah blah.
Oh,
I'm scared.
poured hot candle wax on me.
Okay, see, this is where we're starting to cross the line. We're like teenage us.
It's not funny. That's
It's
so
not
fucked up,
funny,
right?
but
Like it's so fucked up. But that happened to me too.
this is where like once you're a healed functional adult, you're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty
No, it's
fucking
crazy.
If someone did that, if a white family did that to each other, or any actually, I'm just saying that like I would obviously not allow such a thing to happen to a child. But I'm saying
No,
that
but
like
like these are things you
these
laugh
are
at
things
in
that
a
are like in a
Desi.
documentary. You know, these are the telltale signs before the kid gets murdered.
From like the child called it. Like one is poured hot wax on me. There's another one that said my mom threw hot burning tea on my chest.
And I read that one and they put a laughing emoji.
No, and they're laughing and I get it.
And I
because
know why, but I'm saying like this actually is the shit that they show in a documentary right before the kid snaps and kills their parents. We couldn't even talk. We had enough fear in our hearts not to talk back.
No, and then
we would accept it. We'd be like open up our chest, like, okay.
no,
Like-
and then does anyone remember like you would go to school and learn from like fucking Dream or Dare or whatever about how like your parents can't be abusive, and then you like really try it one time to be like, you know, I can call the cops, right?
They're like, do it, call the
like,
cops.
fucking
They're
do
like, we'll
it.
call the cops, actually.
Yeah, and then
And
then you're like, I have nowhere to run.
and they don't care whether they're gonna like fully, they don't care whether you might or might not have actually called the cops. You're still getting your ass beat like up until the cops should have shown up by.
Yeah, my brother like tried to use that as like a threat against my parents once, like, oh yeah, and they were like, they literally laughed at him, and
Yeah.
then
he was not okay after that.
yeah,
He was
none of
not
my
okay.
business.
Oh my god,
But
you got hot.
the hot tea.
Hot. That's
No, and I know like the moms are crazy. The moms are just crazy.
my mom never did anything hot. My mom never did anything like that.
Okay.
And also, you know what the funny thing is? And
Is it though?
no, I was gonna make a really dark joke and then I got
Make
scared. I was like, you know what the funny thing is? And I'm like, she's not here to defend herself. Is my mom to this day would deny that she ever laid a finger on me.
Yeah, she would do that.
Deny.
We would be telling stories, and my mom's
deny.
like, and she's like, no.
My mom would be like, I have never once touched you. And I'm like, that has to be the biggest joke I've ever heard in my life. I got beat all the time.
Yeah.
I got beat one time just because I didn't want to go to Quran class. And then one time because I kept changing outfits too much in like the living room that I was making a mess. But I think my mom, like her beatings were like, hold my hands in my wrist, like in one hand, which is like, you feel like an ant. You're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah,
she's
you're
gonna kill me.
powerless.
There's nothing I can
Yeah.
do. You don't even have it in you to like pull back. You're just
Yeah.
like, okay. And then it would be like a smack whack,
Like a
depending
spanking.
on where. Yeah, spanking, but like hard and scary. Maybe sometimes she would use a stick, but like usually it was like one good like.
One time my mom took the vacuum cord, because you know we're in the era pre-cordless,
Yeah.
obviously, and wrapped the cord around Rabia's arms to hold it together.
Okay.
Are we allowed to say this stuff? Well, too late.
I mean, yeah. What are they gonna do?
I don't take us away.
Take
us away. And my worst one was, I literally peed my pants. I like peed my pants. I was so afraid. I literally peed my pants. But I was in like kindergarten. I was in kindergarten, and my mom, to be so sweet. Obviously, we were poor, but my mom, to be so sweet, and now that I think of it, she was like 25, was like, oh, let's go get like something really cool for all the kids in your class, because my birthday was an August birthday, so I never really did the whole class thing. So she was like, we can do this for the class. So we were trying to find something like whatever. And then there were these hardcover pink Barbie books. They were so fucking cool. And my mom was like, okay, like since you love them, and I loved reading and I loved Barbie, she was like, we'll get each of the girls in your class the Barbie book, and then we'll get each of the boys this like whatever. I don't even fucking remember what we picked for them. Honestly, it doesn't matter. But like, I was like, oh my God. It was like most kids' parents brought like a box of donuts, but this was like such a cool gift. So I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I get on the bus, and there were these girls that were like a couple years older than me. They were in like second to fourth grade or something. And they were like sometimes nice to me, but sometimes not. So I like really wanted them to be nice to me, like because I was just like, they're so cool. And I was on the bus with like this backpack full of like books that I thought my mom got too extra, but she didn't. She's like, I got exactly enough for the class. So I'm like so excited going to class. And then these two girls were like, oh, you have Barbie books? Like, we really like Barbie. Like, why don't you give something? I'm like, okay, yeah, like, yes, I have two extra. That's perfect. So I literally take out two and give two of them the Barbie books. And then I get to class, and I'm putting in my books in every person's like little cubby with their names, which like I never got to do. So I was so fucking excited. And then I get to the end, and I'm two books short. And I'm like, oh, my mom didn't get the two extra. So I go to the teacher, and I'm like, Miss,
Miss.
I'm too short. And she's like, oh, so the rules are that it has to be for everybody or nobody. And I'm like, but my mom spent like a lot of money on these books. Like
Yeah.
each book is like a hardcover book. And I'm like, what do you
Was there an
mean?
option
Like,
to go back and get 2 more books?
I in that moment, no.
Oh, yeah,
I was
right,
like,
right, right, right.
okay. So then she literally made me stuff it all back. And I'm like, these books,
Yeah,
take it all back home. My mom's like, why the fuck do you have all the books back? And I'm
yeah.
like, oh,
I'm getting scared.
so the thing is, like, Jan and Joanne on the
Mhm.
fucking bus really wanted it. And she's like, so you fucking just gave it to them? And I was like, yeah, she doesn't know I like offered it. I think
Yeah.
I offered it. I was like, you
You're
want
like,
one?
"Hey, buddy."
Isn't that cool? Like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's what I did. And so we lived in like an apartment building. She took me downstairs to like where they had the laundry, but it was like kind of scary looking. So she took me in there. She beat my ass, you guys. She beat my ass. I'm like, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like freaking out, crying. And then like I could hear police sirens going by, and she was like, oh, they're here for you. Like
Oh
they're
my
you don't
god.
like, and she like scared me with it. I literally peed my pants. Because I was like,
Oh
the
my
cops are coming for me. I'm
god.
done for. I'm done for.
I'm going to
I'm literally going to
jail.
jail. I don't know, what am I going to jail for?
That's
And then I
so
hated those two
sad.
bitches. I
Oh.
hated those two. I was like,
Oh.
fuck you for fucking, I cared
Oh.
about you, and look at what happened to me. And then I don't think I ever like went, I don't,
I
my
was gonna
mom, I
say,
think
like,
my
was there
lesson was like too fucking bad.
damn, damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
you
my
poor
God. I know.
thing. I think my worst one was that I can remember the most vividly is one time. It was the first time. I don't even think it was an F. I think it was a D or a C. But the
What?
first time I made a bad grade, like the
Oh, I
first time
thought
I
you were
made a
saying swear words. And then you were like, it wasn't even the F. It was a C or a D.
no, I got my first bad grade.
Yeah.
And my mom did that thing where she had my hands in one like together, and then she like went to town. But this is the setting. We're at the drive-through at the Burger King. So she didn't even wait to beat me in or out. She decided to beat me through, and then she told me to shut up while she's ordering. So she's ordering, but she's also beating me up, and she's like, it's not. I'm not making fun of accents, but like it just really adds that like my mom has like an accent and she doesn't know all the words. But so I'm in the back silently like holding my tears, hands together. Her arm is like holding my arm and then beating my ass, and then she's like, order two and also and like she's like going on and she's like thinking about it and she's beating my ass. I'm like, she's like,
The
and if I whimpered, she would
anticipation.
be like,
Oh,
shut
yeah.
up. And then we have to pull up to the driveway. I can't even, I'm not even looking up to like ask for help. I'm like, but I'm like, dude, if I saw a kid in that position right now, even on a plane, I'd be like, they're getting kidnapped, like they're getting trafficked.
I would
and,
just
like,
feel bad. I'd be like, yikes.
I wouldn't know the difference now, but if I see, yeah, because I'm like, dude, and now it is like, dude, that's hard to hear a kid. Like,
I know, but like if I had 3 kids, I'd also be like, shut the fuck up.
dude, I hope I just have enough fear in them that they like
That's true.
just a little, will do the
Yeah,
job.
you hope the eyes, because the mom's eyes are scary. My mom's eyes, ooh, or like if I knew I was gonna get my ass beat,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, the
The dread of getting
anticipation.
home. The dread of getting home is the
Ah, you're
worst.
like, you sure you don't want to stay a little longer? Can I
Yeah.
sleep over? You think I could sleep over?
Yeah.
You think I
Maybe
could
they'll
sleep
forget
over?
about it. You're like, you never want to be left alone with
Those
them.
are the nights that me and our friends and our cousin friends or whatever would do the like and 5, 6, 7, 8 ik baka
Yeah,
Gina, because we're like,
literally.
hopefully they'll let us sleep over and then they'll forget and then I won't be in trouble tomorrow. Like that's when those moments would
Dude, I live with my
happen.
grandparents, so that was my only win. I would run.
Oh,
I would
that's
run
smart.
to any grandparent, and I wouldn't even tell them that I'm getting my ass beat. I just sit there like,
That's so.
and she's
Have
just
you
out the
seen the
door
TikTok
staring at me.
of the kid who's like when one of your siblings starts getting their ass beat and then you start like running to do things that you can't get your ass beat from, like reading namaz or
Yeah.
like reading Quran. They're just like in the
Doing
middle
the
of it.
chores. You're like
I
holding
actually
on.
used to do that in Ramzan. If I heard yelling at all, I was like, oh, I'm reading Quran.
It's
Like
like
nobody bug
not
me.
the right time. You're like sitting there for 10 minutes in the same position. Okay, next one. This one is nice.
Yeah.
Well, nice, all the things considered. We've read like the most traumatic ass shit. Like
This is nice.
this one's good. My mom would always leave me to do the fun things with my sister and leave me home alone. You know? After
Wait.
what we've just heard.
Yeah, my mom
After
would
what
always
we've
do
just
fun
heard,
stuff.
like, you got left
But
out.
why does that always happen? I have such a obviously we have, I'm sure. You have less of a soft spot than I do, but I feel like I have such a soft spot for like oldest siblings. I'm like, guys, we ask so much of them. Like when I see my nephew, I'm like, please,
What do
he's
you
doing everything.
mean?
Because I just feel like they take
Oldest siblings, you're like,
I have such
yeah,
a
yeah,
soft
yeah,
spot
yeah.
for oldest siblings or like when I see them as they're growing up, I'm like, guys, why are we only getting mad at the oldest? Have we noticed
Yeah.
that? Have we noticed that?
Yep.
You're only getting mad at the oldest. The middle one's willy-nilly, fucking running around town, doing whatever the fuck they want. Why are we getting mad at them?
Yeah.
It's like the oldest is always there, always like, fine, I'll stay home. Like that's so funny.
We really did hold it down. Yeah, I don't think I have as much of a soft spot only because it was just me and my brother. So there's a little different power dynamic there. You know what I mean? And I couldn't.
This one is so good.
I'm scared.
My mom beat my ass with a hanger for smoking hookah. Then she said, "Look at me now," because she's someone that does smoke hookah. But isn't that so funny? It's like they're pushing us right into it.
Right. Oh my God. One time, because I don't know if someone said this or not. I don't think anyone said this, but one time I got caught with a hookah pen. And it was like all the rage in college, which is basically a baby vape. But I'm not into like vaping like that. But or at all, I don't know why I said like that. I'm not into vaping. But the hookah pen, I don't know. I just thought that like, look at me, I'm like so cool. And my mom obviously found it in my bag. And so then my parents held a meeting downstairs, and they like called me downstairs. And then my mom, you guys, who has never once smoked, I'm seeing if Dia's gonna bark. So I had this hookah pen, and my parents like had a meeting, and my mom, who's never smoked a day in her life, is like, Amna, what is this e-cigarette? And I'm like, Mom, it's not an e-cigarette, it's a hookah pen. And then I made it sound like they were getting passed around campus. I was like, it's just something that someone put in my bag. Like, I don't really know. And my dad is sitting there silently. He's obviously disappointed, which is obviously why I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if you guys can hear Theo, but he's like growling at the community. But my parents are like, Amna, this is like this, you obviously smoke cigarettes, like this is obviously like a gateway to cigarettes. This is a gateway. And I'm like, no, it's not mine, a friend gave it to me. And they kept threatening with taking me out of college. And I'm like, you could take me out, I don't want to be an issue. They're like, if we catch you one more time with this, we're gonna take you out of college. And I was like, okay.
Why? My parents did that to my sister too, and they actually made her get. And I'm like, what is that doing for the end goal?
Yeah. Unless you, and they were like, they didn't even like follow it up with, we're gonna get you married. They just said out of college. And I'm like, all right, just hang out. Like, I really was like, that's not the worst thing. And then to prove a point, my mom inhaled it and then swallowed it because she doesn't know how to smoke. And now I have a choice. I have to either explain to her the right way to smoke, or I just let her,
and then she's obviously
choke. No, she's like, it's a whole thing. She's like choking on her own, lungs.
And then she's like, "Apni ma."
Yeah, dude. And she's starting to kill herself. And there's a whole thing. And I'm sitting there like, okay. And then I went upstairs and I, but I will say, most of it was really sweet. My brother, he took the fall for it. He was like, it was mine. And obviously they were just like, okay, beta. And I was like, oh. Then we had another fight. And I'm like, I am going to smoke it. And this is how you do it. Oh, life.
Um, this one is tried to forcefully get me married at the ripe age of 21.
Again.
Back to the Pakistan one. It's like, what is it, guys? Okay, something happens. There's like the life cycle of like a Desi girl's fucking uh
Life?
marriage,
Oh,
like the life cycle of a Desi girl's like proposal conversation where I feel
right.
like between the ages of like 14, 15, parents, families start romanticizing, "Ah, one day you're gonna get married." And then between like 16 to like 22, everybody goes to Pakistan with their families and they start putting together, what about that second cousin? What about that second cousin? What about that second cousin? And you're like, whoa, whoa, what's happening? And then rishtas and should she move to Dubai and get married? Should she get, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then
Yeah.
they do this whole game where they're like down your ass and down your throats about marriage during this time frame while also being like, but become a doctor. What are you doing? Hello, focus.
Yeah, do well in school, become a doctor,
Pay
like
for college,
get your
get
volunteering hours
married.
and get
What's going
married
on?
and
Stop
like
spending time with your friends. They're not going to be like this whole spiel. And then somewhere between like mid 20s, they calm down. They quiet for a moment. They're like,
mhm.
she's at an age where she has her own pickings. And then somewhere around 27, that shit picks up and then you're just fucking fried.
Yeah. And but here's the thing. I feel like I don't understand what good parents thought was going to come of that. And I also don't understand and this is an argument that I to this day have where I'm like, if we're old enough to get married, why are we not old enough to go on a solo trip to like, you know what I mean?
That's a good
Why?
can I be a bitch?
That is my kind of that's not but I'm not even being a bitch. That's common
Nope.
sense.
Yep.
Like why if someone is allowed to get married,
Riddle me that.
riddle us that actually. Leave a comment if you will above if you were born in like the 60s or something, let us know. Because I'm like what logic is that I am not old enough to do certain things, but I'm old enough to get married and even crazier is I'm like you're looking cuz now I look at we always talk about this like our early 20s whatever. I have a niece in college. My niece, if my niece was getting married to a boy her age, I'm like you're telling me this like 19-year-old, 18-year-old boy is going to provide and protect anybody?
It's like they were so used to just like absorbing what they heard as truth that they never took a second to like actually sit and think about it because it's like so at 19 I can get married,
Have a baby.
raise children, take care of in-laws, cook meals, be responsible for sick parents. I can do all of that, but I can't live on campus with other kids my age in an environment that was created for kids my age. I can't travel, even though traveling is a life skill. You'll have to like it.
Also, where are we going to find the man? Where are we gonna find the man? I remember my parents tried to put me on like they were trying to send like my bio data to somebody, and I kept making fun of them for it and like teasing them. And my parents were getting like genuinely annoyed with me, like, okay, you don't understand. Why are you not like they thought that I was crazy for not understanding the concept. And I'm like, and one time Arishta did come, and it was actually the first time that kind of was like, I mean, maybe I'll talk to him. But then guess what, you guys? This is so embarrassing. My mom was like, okay, I saw the photos. Family looked real cute. Guy looked handsome. He was like one of like, I don't know, 8 siblings. He only had one sister. And he was like, uh,
Wait, that poor mom.
yeah, there was a lot of kids. It might have been like 5, but either way, it was a big number. But they were on basically what came back to me was, oh, they're going to vacation this New Year's in like Hawaii. So when they come back, then we'll do a little rendezvous. I'm like, vacationing in
You're like
Hawaii?
maladaptive fucking.
No, we're in it. The whole storyline's now in Hawaii. Like, move
Mhm.
over Lilo and Stitch. Like, and then so embarrassing. Come like my birthday, my mom's like, so, yeah, the guy rejected you because his mom never told him that she put him out there like that. And I'm like, okay, question though, did he like see a photo of me and then
Like,
reject me?
can you give me like the important
Yeah,
facts. Like, I want to know, but I
which
don't want
photo
to
did
know.
you send? And
Right.
they literally, first of all, they got mad at me for asking. They didn't tell me, and I'm like,
You wanted me to marry him, but I can't know if he saw a photo of
and
me?
then because obviously I had to get the last word in, I genuinely did think that the brother was cuter. I was like, well, the brother's cute. Like, is he? And my parents were like I'm a whore. And I'm like, look, if we're doing it arranged, we're doing it arranged. Line them up. Line them up and let's pick. Let's do a pros and cons list. Let's
She's like,
do
what about
Princess Diaries.
the vacationing in
I
Hawaii?
was like, if we're doing an arranged marriage, I want to sit
Yeah.
exactly like Mia Thermopolis. I want a big screen. I want popcorn, and I want us going through
Flipping
the
through and
yeah.
being like, oh, the Duke of so and so, and so
Yeah.
and where, and yeah,
That's what I
exactly
thought
it.
was gonna
Yeah,
happen, but no.
it's like somebody's bio data, and the
Yeah,
mom,
it's like
it's like
some
this
weird guy.
21-year-old
And then the
boy.
photos that they send of the guys, it's always like hair down part the middle, stops right here, sunglasses. They're posing like on a mountain, one leg up, like trying to peacock you. And you're just like, and then when I'm like, no, ew, they're like, what's wrong with you? That's mean. And I'm like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
what?
I got a rishta at 14. 14. I was a freshman in high school. And for that winter break, we had gone to see some of my dad's family. And then we stopped in Dubai on the way back. So we stopped there for like a day. And we met up with like one of my dad's side, like second cousin, whoever the fuck. And we got home and my grandma was like, oh, so they gave a rishta for you, the guy. I'm like, her old ass 20 something your old son?
He's a pedophile.
And she was like, yeah, for him. And I was like, first of all, also, how, like how icky, because it's like this whole time with this auntie, I'm like, auntie, you're so cute. I love you. And the whole time she's like,
for her 20-something-year-old son is disgusting. And that's
14.
ballsy to go up to someone with a 14-year-old and be like, hey.
And they were all entertaining it. They were like, well, no, I'm not saying you, my parents were like, you don't, but like, have to, but like, if it's something you wanted to explore, I was like, what the fuck are you saying? First of all, I have a boyfriend. Secondly, I'm not getting married in Dubai.
You're like, first of all, my boyfriend cannot find out. Dude, that's another thing. I feel like rishtas come to you when you have boyfriends and you're literally sitting there being like, yeah, I got another rishta today. Yeah. And like, that's just like a normal part of conversation.
Yeah. I forgot that that's so a part of the like, okay, so I'm like meeting this boy at home.
Yeah.
And I'm meeting my real boy out on the streets. That's so funny.
I feel, dude, if you're not Desi or if you are like anything but, I feel like this sounds actually insane.
No, it does, because I remember I would get on the bus in high school every day and like tell my girlfriends.
They must be like, dude, this bitch is
No, they did.
win.
Because so I would tell them like, oh, and then my dad did this, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then that happened, and then that happened. That's why I can't go to the house party at the gang house this weekend, because this and this is what's been going on. And they would be like, your parents are insane. One time, one of my friend's moms got into a fight with my dad, like on the phone. She was like, you're fucking insane.
Oh my
and
God.
he was like, then you keep her. And I was like, take me.
Please take me with you. Oh, this one's an intense one. She grabbed my ponytail and chopped it off. It happened so fast, I couldn't even stop it. And I bet it wasn't a good haircut. I bet it was bad. It was bad. One time my parents gave my brother a haircut and he literally did not go to school the next day. He refused. And then one time my mom put my brother Kenny is so sad. It's so sad but funny because he was like such a cute little chubby kid. But my mom put him in her blouse. He went to school and he was fighting. He's like, Mom, this is a girl shirt. And I had like a little teardrop.
No way.
Yeah.
Like a blouse?
Yeah. It was like
Why?
velvet. I remember it so vividly. It was velvet. It was purple. So bad. Oh, but anyways,
that's
my
too
mom never
funny.
got that creative with
That's
mine.
too
Mine was pretty straightforward. Grab your arms, give you a good whack. Or she was a big fan of locking you in a dark space.
A big fan.
A big fan. She
Yeah.
loved to throw you in the garage, turn the lights off, and then walk away. And she loved that shit. So
I don't even
what?
have a can I be a bitch, really.
I mean, I do have kind of a can I be a bitch?
Okay,
actually,
please.
because it's recent,
Tell us.
but and I was basically I watched Sayara last night, and you bitches owe me a cry because I didn't think it was that sad. And all my TikToks are like, this movie is like the most emotional, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, because I'm thinking Kohonoho, I'm thinking Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, I'm thinking like, oh, you're hitting, like, I'm thinking, Tare Zameen Par. I'm thinking it's gonna pull on your
Ooh, no.
heartstrings, and I did
Kal
not
Ho
think
No
it was
Ho
that bad.
had me like hitchkiya crying. Like hitchkiya crying. I couldn't get a grip.
Mm-mm.
Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum even
Yeah,
multiple
multiple times you
times.
shed at least a tear.
I remember going to the movies thinking I was going to watch a movie about love, and it ended up being the Indian movie, I think with Amir Khan, called LOC, Line of Control. And it was Saif Ali Khan. I for
I've
sure
never seen
Saif Ali
that.
Khan's in it. And they're like all going off to war, and it's like a 3-hour movie about them being in war and blown up and dying, and the families at home and the whole thing. And I'm like, this is the most depressing and worst movie I've ever seen. But anyways, yes, we've grown up with like heartache, heartache,
Heartache.
true ache,
True ache.
death and devastation and yearning
And loss
and parampara.
and parampara, and it was so intense. And then I'm watching this movie and I'm like waiting for my heartstrings to like fucking like corrupt inside. And it's like it was like it had an emotional storyline, sure, but I was like, you could have added this, you could have sprinkled that in, you could have made me cry like this, you should have said this. Like, I don't know, I really feel like it could have gone a lot deeper. And another thing, while we're at it, I'm really sick and tired, and we've talked about this before, I'm really sick and tired of all the making out in Bollywood movies. I'm really fucking sick and tired of it. Enough, you guys, enough. And I feel like it's overdone to prove a point. It's not even like natural to what's happening in the movie. It's not even like a natural next step.
Like, we
And
get
they
it.
kiss and make out too soon. They are kissing at the cadence of the songs. Like, you know how Bollywood movies, it's like, okay, they're talking, song starts, they're in Switzerland. That's how the making out is happening. They're talking, next moment they're making out, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's no gradual nothing. We just landed here, we're making out. And another thing, I'm confused if we're mixing so much of English and Hindi together because
To be cool. Stop trying to be cool.
or are we trying to do it to like mimic more Western? Or are we doing it because this next generation that is just the vernacular, that is just the vocabulary? And if that's the case, sure, but it's happening in movies where it's like not meant to happen. It's like if in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum they started doing that, you know what I mean? And the only amount that was appropriate is just like
The British girl.
the British girl and like the
saying Mrs. Sprightly.
Ooh, yeah, Mrs. Sprightly, like that whole that's
DJ, that was a BJ. That's it.
that's it. You're
Yeah.
allowed one line.
Mhm.
Because what I'm noticing, and I don't know if you guys have seen that episode of Modern Family where Cam and Mitch are getting married, and then they bring their wedding planner Pepper and the guy Ronaldo, and then Ronaldo keeps saying things in Spanish and then the exact same word in English, so he'd be like, "Sí, yes." That's what's happening. Where I'm like, you're not even saying a different word in English. You're saying like, "Huh, me other gay over there." And it's like, bitch, say me other gay on the other side of the street. Like, don't be like,
either continue, but
continue
like
the sentence. Why are we repeating it? Don't repeat it.
I don't like
straight
that.
line. Sorry, I got really passionate about that.
I like that. And another thing.
It really is bothering me.
It grinds your
It
gears.
So
I have one on that note-ish. Fall and winter are a time of fashion, and they're a time of hibernation. And it's when we binge our favorite shows.
Yeah.
Like, we are locked in. And I need shows. Maybe this has been something I've said previously, or one of us have said previously. But like, I really need the shows. If you're going to be a fall show, if you're going to be the September Vogue cover, like, give me something, like, that this is a high stakes, high anticipated time. If you're not going to do a good show, don't waste my time. Secondly, I need more than 10 episodes. I'm so fucking sick and tired of 10 episode seasons. It's so irritating.
because it should last me the season. It should last me the season of fall.
Thank you. It should and having the seasons with a I'll even say 12 on a low end, but like a 12 to 20 episode fucking collection feels like a season. It feels like a season of a life that we're following. It feels like we're invested in these characters now. But unless you're like Game of Thrones, there's no reason that you're having like fucking 10 episodes per season.
Yeah. Yeah. And then making us wait till summer. But the show is still placed in fall.
Yes. Or you're gonna make us wait till 3 falls from now to get the season 2, then I'm not locked in anymore.
You
I'm
know,
over it.
then
I don't care
we're having
anymore.
a
There's a
Euphoria
new
situation.
show. Dude.
We're just, who cares now?
R.I.P. Euphoria. It's not deaded yet. I know there's another season coming, but
Is there, like,
how
aren't we,
sad. Like,
isn't it just
why couldn't you just
over?
let it be like the great collection it was supposed to be and then keep it pushing? Cut like just and then fucking
What?
the guy that died.
Oh,
Yeah.
and like not all the, dude, and
I know
he
his name,
was,
but every time we're actually recording, I can't remember names of anybody for anything.
no,
I don't know
he
what
died,
happens to
and
me.
the ending was so at like such an intense spot.
Yeah.
So it's like, and there was so much anticipation, like the next season, what are they gonna do? It was kind of like Fast and Furious, where they're like, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna incorporate the storyline? What's gonna happen? And then it's been so long now that it's like almost,
It's done. I mean, it's just
like,
like
what is there to,
like the charm is gone.
yeah,
That and Stranger Things, they did that to both of them. It's like these
yeah.
phenomenal shows, and then you like can't get it together.
Dude,
Come
Stranger Things,
on.
I will still watch Stranger
I
Things when
will
it comes
too,
out. I think
yeah.
what I'm gonna end up doing is having to go back and rewatch and then start up.
And I'm not
But it
mad
is
at
getting
that, but
annoying.
it's just like so much time has passed. It's
Yeah.
almost like a fucking now we're having like a reunion season.
Dude, she's had a
basically.
baby in the time. Like we're so
Adopted, but yeah.
adopted. She's gotten married. Like they're grown.
85 animals.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're wow, what more is left?
But yeah, that's this week's episode.
That's this week's episode. Thank you
We're
guys
heading
so
into
much for
October.
listening.
Thank you so much for listening. Hope you guys had a great month. September was up and down. It's
Mm-hmm,
up and down. So ready to wrap it. I'm
yeah,
ready
and
to wrap
I'm
it.
like wearing this, but it's like 80 degrees
It's
outside.
fucking 80 degrees.
I'm forcing fall.
Yeah, but we're ready. We're ready for fall.
We're ready for fall.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.